Guadalajara, Mexico.
Acelera, chofer, acelera, chofer, que no viene persiguiendo a la mamá de su mujer.
These children were singing excitedly on the way back home from our 2-hour youth activity that we had at the church. These days were some of the funnest memories that I have, was spending time with these children. One of the fun memories I have is when they would see a VW bug, they'd say "Bocho" and like give little pinches all over. And with all the kids you can see in the background there, they came around both sides of the chair and it felt like little fish pinching me all over. It was a fun connection point that I had with them. I had the privilege of going down to Mexico with 6 other team members from Main Ministry Outreach Center. Guadalajara is a city of contrast. It is a contrast between the poor, the middle class, and the rich. The church that we've been working with was in this middle class neighborhood that you can see on the top right. There's also a contrast between the old and the new. Another contrast is between the spiritual darkness and the spiritual light. The church that we were ministering to was an example of the spiritual light. Jerry and I had the opportunity to stay with Hero, the pastor of the church, and Mariella, and their 2 foster children, Jonathan and Brianna. The time spent with them was a major blessing, and we were spiritually refreshed from the time spent with them. As you can see in this picture, this is the group that was there on the last Sunday that we were there. This group of people demonstrated a great love for God and for each other through their actions and the way they interacted with each other. They embraced us into their family. We went down to serve them, but we feel like they served us even more. I've known that I have family of Christ all around the world, but it was such a blessing to be able to experience this connection of being in the family of God. Though we have a language barrier and I'm not able to understand many of the things that they said on my own, still we were joined together with Christ. So we had the opportunity while we were there to have some work days. And I was able to install some shelves and a clothesline. Some of our team did some landscaping around the community building where the church has been meeting for their services. We did some painting and also did cleaning as well. We had the privilege of being able to bring some power tools down to Mexico. Marco has been limited by what he could do for his own needs and also for the community and for the church because he lacked the tools needed. And so we were able to bring some power tools down. We were also, while we were there, able to build 2 pulpits. You may ask, why 2 pulpits? One was for their church and the other was for our sister church of theirs. We were also able to make an octoball pit. Now, octoball is like a dodgeball, but when you are hit with the ball from the knees down, you're out. The children, teens, and adults all enjoyed playing it. It was a blessing to be able to make a game that they were able to use while we're there and will continue to use for a long time to come. Ministry. Here is a picture of all the children who came to the children's activity that we had. So one afternoon we went to our park in the area and we did some soccer tournaments. And there was over 40 new contacts that were made through soccer, and then also there were many other contacts made with the girls that are on the sidelines talking with other people that are there as well. And Marco had the opportunity to share the gospel with the teens that were gathered around and who had played soccer with us. So for 3 nights we did a youth connection, which was like a teen VBS. And one of our purposes for going down to Mexico was to help them build new contacts and in their community. So they have been having 4 teenagers regularly coming to their church. And so during our teen connection, we had over 20 teens that came each night. So there were quite a few new connections that were made. I had the privilege of teaching for 2 of the nights that we were there. And such a blessing to be able to share the gospel with the teens. And Marco translated for me, which was an interesting experience, to be able to speak and then have to wait as he was translating. One of the things I came to realize while we were there was that the translation barrier was a similarity to what it's like when we are trying to share the gospel with the unsaved. That they don't understand the terms that we are using, and unless God opens their eyes to come to understand the gospel, it's like speaking another language to them. And so we need to build teaching them, to helping them to come to understand, and also depending upon this God to help them to understand the truths of the gospel. So I decided to teach about what true belief means. And so to demonstrate this, I did the trust fall. And so one of the things I was teaching was that believing on the Lord Jesus Christ is not just saying that we believe it, but it results in an action. And if I said that I believe that these men would catch me, but I refused to fall backwards, it shows that I truly did not believe what I said. Until I fell backwards. And after I did that, I asked if there was anyone in the audience who believed that these men could catch them as well, and who would be willing to come up and to demonstrate that by doing it. And one of the boys, Sergio, he said that he believed that they could do that. And so he came and he fell backwards, demonstrating that he did believe that they could catch him. What's neat is after this time, Jerry had an opportunity to talk to Sergio and asked him if he understood the things that were being shared. And Sergio said yes, he did, and that he understood them, but he was not ready to commit to following Jesus because his family was a Roman Catholic family. Pray that he will come to put his faith in the Lord Jesus Christ, that the missionaries there will have opportunities to continue to build relationships with him. And not just that he will come to know the Lord, but that his family will come to know the Lord as well. Another boy to be in prayer for is Aldo. This picture of Aldo was taken the Sunday after we left. And Aldo came back to the Sunday service. The sad thing was that partially through the service, his dad came and pulled him out of the service. What is exciting is that a few weeks later, he came back. Please pray for him that God will continue to open his eyes to understand the gospel as well. Head over to Jerry and I out to this apartment area. There's over 2,000 apartments in this neighborhood, and these are new apartments that have been built a couple years ago. And then there's over 300 ones that are ready to be moved into, and 2 more buildings that are being made. And as far as Hedo knows, there's no gospel witness and work going on in this area. And they have a burden to come and reach into this community, which is only a few miles away from where they are currently serving. You can also be in prayer for this piece of property here, that they're looking at and have an interest in maybe buying sometime down the road. And so be in prayer for them as they seek what God's direction is for the next steps in the ministry there in Mexico. Thank you for your support through prayer, gifts, and encouragement. Without the faithful support of you, my family and friends, this trip to Mexico would not have been possible. So thank you very much.